La zona eléctrica, una semana más descubriendo para ti lo mejor de la música, lo mejor del rock de todos los tiempos. Y en esta ocasión vamos a hacer un viaje musical de los que a nosotros más nos gustan. Nos encanta descubrir bandas nacionales, pero también descubrir artistas más allá de nuestras fronteras. Permitidme saludar en primer lugar a nuestra compañera Sonsoles. Muy buenas tardes, bienvenida de nuevo a la zona eléctrica.
Buenas tardes, Manuel, muchas gracias.
Y ya sabéis que cuando Sonsoles está por aquí es que necesitamos ayuda en la traducción de nuestros invitados. Ricardo Oliveira, una semana más, bienvenido a tu casa musical, bienvenido a la zona eléctrica.
Bien encontrado, Manuel, una semana más con un invitado especial que enseguida seguro presentarás.
Efectivamente. Y todo esto, ¿por qué? Pues básicamente porque el mundo de la música, por suerte para nosotros, no tiene fronteras. Permitidme presentaros a Frank Lutz. Él es el alma máter de Exxyle. Frank Lutz, bienvenido a lo que a partir de ahora es tu casa musical. Bienvenido a la zona eléctrica.
Hello, Frank. Welcome to your musical home. Welcome to la zona eléctrica.
Well, hello, everybody.
Estamos encantados de que podamos charlar en esta ocasión con una persona que, corrígeme si me equivoco, hace más de 20 años que el mundo de la música no es protagonista en tu vida.
We are going to talk with you about that it's been more than 20 years without music being the protagonist in your life.
Yes.
Volver a sentir el abrazo de la composición en primera persona, ¿ha sido necesidad o es un capricho?
Feel the embrace again of composition in first person. Has it been a need or just something that you said, okay, let's do it like a quote?
No, it's always been a case that people told me that you can't do music for a living. You have to do something to support yourself and do music as a hobby. And if you're lucky, you can get you can grow in that. Otherwise, you always have something to fall back on.
Siempre le han dicho que tiene que tener algo más que la música. La música no se puede vivir de ella, que la música lo puede tener como un hobby, pero tener un trabajo para poder mantenerse.
But what then happened is that a year and a half ago or so, I had the opportunity because pandemic, we were at home. And I decided to call my boss and say, listen, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this all the way. And it doesn't matter what anybody has ever told me. I'm going to actually try, because if I don't try, I'll never know. And that's when I stopped working and I dedicate 100% of my time to music, to making music, and to try and see whether or not I can actually make it sustain itself and I can continue to make music. It's my dream, it's my life, it's my whole destiny. And to continue at my age to work for other people and ignore my own dreams, you can't do it. Right? I had to draw a line in the sand.
Gracias a la pandemia, él le pudo decir a su jefe que se iba a dedicar íntegramente a la música, que iba a intentarlo, que iba a intentar cumplir su sueño, lo que le gusta y mantenerse de la música, y que con su edad o lo hacía o ya iba a estar viviendo a las órdenes de una persona trabajando y no es lo que él quería. Entonces hizo, como dice su canción, una línea en la arena.
Wow. Manuel, si me permites, comienzo yo el interrogatorio.
Por favor, porque a mí ya se me ha encendido la bombilla.
Hi, Frank. My first question. Frank, calificas que haces un rock de la vieja escuela, pero yo encuentro sonidos muy novedosos y tan solo hay que escuchar esa gran interpretación del Lying in the Sands y comprobar que no suenan a lo que suenan muchas de las bandas actuales. Es bueno para componer, limpiar la cabeza de sonidos que puedan influenciar lo que realmente buscas en tus composiciones.
Okay, Ricardo is asking that you qualify yourself, okay, as your music as old school rock music, but Ricardo finds new sounds in the music you make and you play, and you just have to listen to the great interpretation of Line in the Sand and check that it doesn't sound like many of today's bands sound. So he's asking, okay, is it good to clean your head of the sounds that can influence on what you really want your composition to be?
Well, I could talk forever about that.
Podría estar hablándonos para siempre de ello.
So,
tenemos todo el tiempo del mundo.
We have all the time in the world.
Fantastic. It gets edited. Listen,
que se edita.
Yes, old school. And by old school, I mean not so much the sounds. As you'll understand, yes, the sound very much goes back to late 80s, early 90s. There is new sounds in it because you have to modernize something. My inspiration comes from music that I grew up with. Everything from the Moody Blues to Shakin' Stevens to Kiss and Motorhead. It's a big influence to me. But even though Motorhead's a big influence to me, I'm not a punk musician. And that's what Motorhead really is. It's always been punk. So it's my interpretation of what music has lost. And I don't want to say that it's not present. There's a handful of people out there that are doing unbelievably good stuff with rock and roll, but the spirit of rock and roll, that freedom, that middle finger at everything that tells you what to do, that is asleep. People have forgotten about the spirit of rock and roll because you can't sell it. Nobody can put that on an ad and say, this is something you should buy. I don't agree with this system. I fight this system, and that's the spirit of rock and roll. And that's what's old school about this. The sounds, yes, the sounds have old sounds in it, and it's mixed with newer sounds. But it's the spirit really that needs to come forward.
Vale. Vamos a intentar parar un poquito.
If you don't mind,
sorry, that was long. If you need me to repeat something, I'll say it again.
Yes, I'm going to ask you, but I think I remember things. Que él se refiere al sonido que se tocaba a finales de los 80, principios de los 90, que es la música con la que él creció, con Kiss, con Motorhead. Pero, por ejemplo, Motorhead, él no lo considera un grupo ni es un grupo de rock and roll, es un grupo punk. Entonces son sonidos que no son referentes al sonido de la vieja escuela del rock and roll. Él se refiere más a lo que no al sonido, sino a lo que el sentimiento o lo que provocaba la vieja escuela de rock and roll, que era la irreverencia, el poder levantar el dedo y decir que no, este tipo de no conformarse y de luchar, que es algo que ahora no se hace, que sí que hay grupos que por supuesto lo hacen, que hay gente que sigue trabajando en ello, pero que es algo que no es vendible. Y él está en contra de esa idea de que lo que no se pueda vender o hacer una discográfica que dé dinero y tal, se haga. Y es a lo que él se refiere. What did you say about the sound? The last thing you said about the sound is the
right.
that
So, yeah,
I'm missing.
There's old sounds
Mhm.
from classic metal and classic rock, mostly based in the 80s, because that's really where my heart lies. I should have been born there. But it's mixed with new sounds to be able to relate to a contemporary audience. And it just, if we talk about how I write these songs, you'll be amazed. It actually, a lot of these things just happen naturally because I'm not very good at playing my instruments. I'm not, you listen to a song and you will not believe the amount of effort I had to put in to actually make it. So sounds tend to come together very organically from what I listen to now, but mostly from what I've listened to then, to make a new type of thing that can relate to a new audience.
Vale. Él se refería a que los sonidos de los 80, que es donde él le gustaría haber nacido a finales de los 80, que es con lo que él se identifica, los tiene que mezclar con sonidos nuevos para que llegue la gente de ahora al contemporáneo. Entonces, él no, dice que no es muy bueno tocando los instrumentos, entonces que el componer la música, lo que es todo le sale natural. Y que luego, con los como ha dicho, que le sale eso, que le sale
de una forma más
sí,
orgánica.
que le sale más orgánico, etcétera. Y eso es.
Entonces, para las nuevas generaciones del rock, no lo busques, que no está escrito. Para las nuevas generaciones del rock, tú tratas de inculcar más la idea de la actitud del rock que no la idea estética del rock como sonido.
So for the new audience you're playing now, which is the contemporary audience, you said, you pay more attention to,
a la actitud,
to the attitude,
más que a la parte estética del
to
rock.
the aesthetic rock part.
No, I don't. And that's what makes this particularly difficult for me, is I don't write anything to appeal to a modern audience. I write things to try and wake up a modern audience
No intenta
from
apaciguar a la
what
nueva,
they've been put to sleep with.
claro, que no intenta apaciguar a las nuevas generaciones ni a la nueva gente que le escucha, sino que al revés, lo que quiere es levantarles y que no se queden dormidos y que empiecen a luchar.
Sobre esto tengo yo una pregunta, y es que tus canciones son una mezcla de imaginación y rabia. ¿A qué le das más importancia a la hora de crear un tema?
Okay, Ricardo is asking that due to your songs are like a mix of imagination and anger, what do you give more importance to when you're creating a song?
That's an excellent question.
Que es una pregunta excelente, Ricardo.
And the reason I said excellent is because it's hard to answer.
Es muy difícil de contestar.
What do I pay more attention to when I write a song? Being angry about something or inspiring? It's a mix, because I want people. There's progression has never been made out of desire. You've never gone forward because you wanted to. You've gone forward because you needed to. Everything that's ever been invented, everything that's ever been developed has been because somebody needed to do it. We needed to extend daylight, so we invented unnatural light, candles, and then the electric light, and so on and so forth. It was a need that drove something. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to send a message that, first of all, gets people to realize what they've been looking at all the time, then gets them mad at it, and then imagine what it could be like if you could take your power back and claim your freedom from something that is only your master because you choose it to be your master.
Vale. ¿Ya?
¿Lo tienes?
Sí. More or less. Más o menos. Ok.
I'm
él
happy
dice,
to repeat at any point.
yes, I know. I'm going to get a piece of paper and a pen next time.
You're excellent. You're doing fantastic, though, because I can understand some of what you're saying. And
Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
It's a pleasure. Ok. Él dice que cuando él compone, él que no busca, por decirlo así, ¿tú lo has entendido como yo? Es que no sé si lo he entendido.
Sí, lo que busca realmente es
que
una
que
mezcla.
Se despierte
claro,
la gente.
una mezcla entre las dos partes que comentaba
Claro.
Ricardo. Busca una mezcla entre lo que siente, el sentimiento
Sí.
que le puede producir algo y la ira.
La ira.
Entonces,
para que la gente, efectivamente, a la hora de escucharlo, se despierte y pelee que, ya sé cómo ha empezado, por eso me he quedado pillada. Que en la antiguamente, cuando tú querías inventar algo, no lo hacías por deseo, era por necesidad. La humanidad ha ido inventando cosas porque las ha ido necesitando. Por ejemplo, él se ha referido a la luz artificial. Cuando ya es de noche, había que inventar algo para poder seguir viendo. Se inventó luz artificial. Entonces, que no se crean las cosas por deseo, sino por una necesidad. Y es lo que él dice. Él hace una canción y quiere que la gente la escuche y se revele. Se revele y vea lo que está pasando. Que el progreso está haciendo que pues eso, que nos tengamos que revelar hacia nuestro maestro, que es una forma de decirlo.
En España hay una frase, un refrán, una frase hecha, no la busques, que dice: para hacer una tortilla hay que romper un huevo.
Okay, Spain, we have an idiom, okay, that you have to, I don't know if you're going to understand the same that it means in Spanish, but I'm going to try. To make an omelette, you have to crash an egg. Yes. You have the same.
Yeah, to make an omelet, you got to break some eggs. Yes. Yeah, I have the same idiom.
Yes.
Muchos entendemos el rock precisamente como esa parte de mezcla entre la necesidad de romper con lo políticamente correcto.
A lot of us see rock the same way. It's like a mix to break with everything that is politically correct.
Y poder quitarte la venda de los ojos y darte cuenta de que la realidad no es tan bonita y tan idílica como nos pueden mostrar muchas veces a través de internet y de las redes sociales.
Venda, me he quedado pillada con venda. No me acuerdo. Okay, I don't remember how you say when you have to cover your wound. It's a plaster, no, but you bandage. Don't take the plaster of your eyes, a bandage of your eyes. You say it like that. It's like an idiom.
Bandage,
again.
Yeah.
Okay.
But take the blindfold off.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's sorry, I'm not very good at that one.
You're excellent. Absolutely excellent.
Thank you. So it's like a mix. What Manuel said, it's a mix of the politically correct and to have to take the bandage of your eyes to see what really is happening.
Yes, because and I know you've noticed it. The further we go on, the more you can't do anything. You can't say anything. Somebody's going to get upset. The pinpoint is that somebody made an issue. You can't upset people. Why not? Why can people not be upset? Be upset. That's a key thing, is when you're not upset about something, you don't pay attention to it, and you don't either change it or understand it.
I'm sorry, I'm going to translate and
carry on.
It's better. Que hemos llegado a un punto en el que la gente no se puede disgustar. O sea, no se puede sacar un tema en el que alguien se moleste, se enfade o se disguste. Y entonces él considera que eso está mal, porque si tú te disgustas o te enfadas, puedes hacer algo para cambiarlo. Okay, sorry, continue.
But now, the narrative or the story is you're not allowed to upset anybody. And that works very well for people that want to keep you under control. Because if you don't upset anybody and everybody else doesn't upset anybody, nobody is trying to understand something or change it. They're just inwardly unhappy and they don't know why. But they can't say anything because they'll upset the guy next door. And the next door guy is not allowed to get upset. You can't say anything to be upset. So what I'm trying to do is to upset people. Be upset, be angry, Be angry at me. Don't like what I'm doing. Hate it if you want to, but feel something and move in a direction. Because right now we're all just spinning in the same old circle. It's moving around and around and around. Your function is your value. The only thing that makes you valuable is what you provide to a society. And that is not true. Your function is not your value. Your value is your value. You as a person has value intrinsic to you. And it doesn't matter what your function is. But we've been talked into this. So we do it to ourselves. We don't have to have anybody do it to us anymore. And we're asleep at the wheel because we've been listening to this come into your ears all the time. And you just think that somebody else is going to drive the car that you're sitting behind the wheel of. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yes. Me voy a quedar con lo último que ha dicho porque me gusta un montón. Que él dice que la sociedad impone que tú vales lo que aportes a la sociedad.
La función que tú hagas.
Sí, y él considera que no es así, que tú vales lo que vales por lo que tú vales, o sea, por lo que tú haces, pero porque tú quieras hacerlo. Entonces él se refería al tema de que él no hace música por tener contento a nadie, o sea, al revés. Él quiere hacer algo que tú te disgustes, te enfades, aunque sea él, que le da igual, pero algo que te haga levantarte, no venga a dar vueltas alrededor y hacer caso a todo lo que te digan, que a día de hoy tú sí no puedes disgustar ni molestar a tu vecino diciendo algo, te lo tienes que callar y no.
Y para esto, Fran, es más necesario para hacer música, tu música, estar en paz contigo mismo o en guerra con ciertas personas.
Okay, to do your music, it's easier for you to make the war by yourself or be angry with other people.
I'm not angry at people at all.
No está enfadado con
Not
nadie.
at all. Yeah. I want people to get angry.
Quiere que la gente se enfade.
I'm not at all. Not my neighbor, the person that I walk down the street. Look, okay, fine. If I'm in crowds, I get mad at people because they don't think. But that's what I get mad at. It's what people do that makes me angry. But I want them to also get angry at the same, noticing the same things. So people are not making me angry. It is, how to say this without sounding like a conspiracy theorist. I'm not really a subscriber to conspiracies.
Que no parezca alguien de la teoría conspiratoria. Okay, try. We try to make it not sound like that.
Right. I'm not a subscriber to conspiracies as such, but I do see the picture behind the picture. I understand that for people to accept something as safe, it has to be familiar. And the way to make something familiar is to repeat it all the time. When something comes up on the other side and says something that's true, that people know is true, but is not familiar because it's not the message that gets put out all the time, it becomes the enemy. It's not safe. And you're damn fucking right. It's not safe. It isn't safe. It threatens your entire way of life. But your way of life has been made by comfort. And your comfort comes at the price of your freedom. You give your free will away for other people to make decisions for you.
Wow.
And that is your comfort. And that's where you live.
Traduce esta parte, que está buena.
Okay. He's telling me to translate because it's very good what you said. So, okay. Él no está enfadado con la gente. Le enfada lo que hace la gente. Por ejemplo, él los mogollones le molestan mucho y no le gusta. Entonces, él dice, que yo en parte estoy de acuerdo con él, que a ti te bombardean constantemente con decirte esto es lo bueno porque te lo voy a hacer familiar. Y cuando tú creas que es algo que es tu día a día, pues te va a resultar bueno porque es familiar para ti. Entonces te viene la otra parte, que es la parte realmente verdadera, pero tú dices, porque eso no es verdad, porque no te suena familiar. ¿Verdad?
Correcto.
Entonces, te están quitando, como si dijéramos, tu libre...
Tu capacidad de pensar.
Claro, la capacidad de tú de decidir, el libre pensamiento, y te lo meten para que tú pienses y digas lo que dicen los demás. Que yo, vamos, estoy totalmente de acuerdo. I completely agree with you. Thank you.
It's nice. It's nice to hear somebody like, hey.
I agree completely with you. I think in Spain, for us, for example, here, I think that politicians and the media try to tell us all the time what's true here in Spain, even though you see the other things. And
you want to get me started on politicians?
No, let's. I don't believe in politicians anymore, in anyone. I don't care if it's one or the other one.
Here's the litmus test. The test is, are they saying a lot of things and not doing a lot of things? Or are they doing a lot of things and not saying a lot of things?
In Spain, they only say things.
That's it. Everywhere in the world, a politician talks a lot. Doesn't do a great deal, but talks a great deal. They're very charming. They're very, you want to believe them. It's that guy in high school that everybody knew was an asshole, but everybody wanted to be his friend.
Yes.
Because he's charming. He talks the right game. He shows the right thing, but he doesn't actually do anything.
En el instituto, él se refiere a los políticos como los típicos del instituto. Claro, esto me suena muy estadounidense. El típico guaperas así y tal, que no dice nada, que habla y todo el mundo quiere ser su amigo, aunque sabes que es un imbécil, pero todo el mundo quiere ser su amigo y es encantador y te sabe llevar a su terreno y tal, no sé qué. Él se refiere a los políticos igual que un político que habla mucho y dice poco a la hora y hace poco.
Y hace pocas cosas.
Pues es un político que obviamente está haciendo eso, llevarte a su terreno, pero no vale para nada. En España tenemos muchos de esos.
So you see, now that's just it. Politically, this is now the idea, is that, oh, you're very political. I'm very anti-political. And I don't have a soapbox, and I don't stand up in a town square and I shout that you should be awake. There are people that do that. I don't have a YouTube channel that analyzes conspiracies and what governments are doing and so forth. There are people that do that. I make music. My way of communicating with the world is to say, listen to this. And you may misunderstand it or you may understand it. But at the very least, you can tap your foot to it.
Vale. Él dice que él no tiene un Starbucks, ni se pone en mitad de una plaza a gritar, ni tiene un canal de YouTube para analizar toda la situación política y explicar. Que él lo hace a través de la música. Lo puedes malinterpretar o lo puedes entender lo que él hace, pero lo hace ahí y tú puedes mover tu pie al ritmo de la música. Simplemente con eso ya hace que por lo menos tengas un sentimiento, tengas algo.
Después de todo lo que nos has contado,
After all you have said now,
¿por qué el cover de Desperado?
Why the cover of Desperado?
Oh, Desperado.
Porque...
¿Por qué? ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué? I'll tell you por qué. Que Desperado reminds you. The Eagles did this in 1973. Told you, don't chase the rabbit because the things that are important to you are around you right now. And you're chasing the rabbit, you're chasing fame, you're chasing success, you're chasing fortune, you want money, you want the white picket fence, you want 2.5 kids and a dog, but you're never going to pay attention to it. You ever hear that thing is that you spend 40 hours a week working a job that you hate, spending time in traffic that drives you nuts, in a car you can't afford, to buy things like a house that you will never spend time in and have a family that you will never know.
Él dice que los Eagles
Touché.
en 1973 hicieron una canción en la que te dan a entender que no todo en la vida es perseguir el conejo blanco, perseguir el dinero, el éxito. todo lo que no tienes. Y que a día de hoy mucha gente trabaja en un trabajo durante 40 horas semanales, se pasa luego muchísimo tiempo en atascos que te vuelven loco para tener la típica casa con vallita de madera blanca, que es lo que se refiere, que allí será un dicho, obviamente, una casa en la que nunca vas a estar, 2 hijos y medio, un perro y familia que no vas a conocer y comprar cosas que nunca vas a usar. Entonces, ¿qué necesidad? Si ya lo tienes. Lo que de verdad necesitas, lo tienes.
Fantástico, Frank. Y en tu música, la simbología que la rodea tiene mucha soledad, mentiras, muerte y sufrimiento. Esto forma parte de tu música. Sin eso no habría Exxyle.
Okay, there is symbolism that surrounds your music. For example, loneliness, lies, death, suffering, which is part of your music. So without all of this, wouldn't Exxyle be, or would be no Exxyle?
Probably not.
Probablemente.
If I didn't have anything to be passionate about, would I be musical? No.
Si no tuviera nada por lo que el sentir pasión o alguna emoción, ¿sería musical? Pues no.
The music that I write, the music that I produce, that I bring out to get people, it's passion. It's deep in my heart and mind. And if none of this was true, if none of this was happening, if I didn't feel any of this, would I be making any of this music? No, not at all. Do I feel lonely? Absolutely. I feel very, very, very lonely. Very lonely in that these are things that you can feel, but you can't ever talk about. So who do you talk to? These are things that you can know, but you can't ever say. Who do you say it to? And if none of that existed, my guitars would be quiet. I wouldn't have these guitars. I wouldn't be making music. I would still be working my security job from 2 years ago and working for the system. And that's just how it goes. There wouldn't be the passion because this is my passion.
Si él no tuviera estos sentimientos, él no podría hacer música porque él se siente solo. ¿Y a quién le dices que te sientes solo? Él siente pues algún sufrimiento y a quién le cuentas ese sufrimiento. Entonces, él si no tuviera estos sentimientos no tendría ni las guitarras, seguiría en su trabajo de guarda, que es lo que estaba haciendo los 2 últimos 2 años, trabajando para alguien en un sistema, pero no haciendo lo que él verdaderamente quiere hacer.
Wow. Yo creo que tenía la duda entre Desperado y Line in the Sand.
Manuel had the doubt between Desperado and Line in the Sand.
Desperado es una grandísima canción de los Eagles.
Desperado is a great song from the Eagles.
Pero a mí me apetece escuchar Line in the Sand.
But Manuel wants to hear Line in the Sand.
Wants to hear about it or wants to just hear it?
The song, I think.
Vamos a escuchar la música de Exxyle, vamos a escuchar a Frank dando lo mejor de sí y continuamos charlando con él aquí contigo en la zona eléctrica. Ahí estaba sonando la música de Exxyle con esa, yo tendría que decir, joyita de la música moderna. No sé si Frank estará de acuerdo. Sonando para ti aquí en la zona eléctrica, ¿se lo podías comentar? A ver qué nos dice acerca de...
We have been listening to your song. No?
Line in the Sand.
Line in Sand, sorry, I forgot the name.
Para mí es una
for Manuel is a jewel in the music world right now.
Modern
music. Okay. What would you think about it? That's a jewel in the modern music, your song.
A jewel.
Yes.
Am I hearing that right?
Yes. A jewel. Yes.
Wow.
I'm not such a bad translator.
No. You're a terrific translator. I'm just.
Thank you very much.
I'm a narcissist. I need to hear this.
Él es muy narcisista, que lo tengo que volver a escuchar.
Line in the sand. Manuel would like to know. Look, I know Spain is full of Catholics. It's Catholic land, Spain. However, Line in the Sand has been misunderstood from the beginning as me saying religion is bad, and it's not. Religion is fantastic. Line in the Sand is about people that use religion to abuse the people that believe in it, that use religion to... The Catholic Church is the richest by a landslide organization in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
God loves you, but he needs money. George Carlin said that back in the day. Poor George Carlin, rest his soul. I'm not religious, but I believe that religion is a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful thing. To have faith in something that you cannot prove is unbelievable to say. But people that take advantage of people's faith is a disgusting thing. It's a hell-worthy thing, but they use religion to take advantage of vulnerable people, take their money, take their dignity, take their innocence, and just take and take and take. And this isn't a new story. This is an old story. This has been going on for forever, ever since there was people that understood that my power over someone else is determined by their faith in something else. And that's what Line in the Sand is. Line in the Sand wrote itself. I didn't write it. I wrote the music. Oh, sorry, Ángeles, if you want to translate, I'm going on forever.
No problem. No, it's fantastic what you said. I agree totally with you.
Really? It's fantastic?
Yeah, for me, yes. Yes. Why?
Translate, please.
Translate, please. Él se refiere a que la canción ha sido malinterpretada desde el principio. Él no se mete con la religión. Él sabe que en España, por ejemplo, somos una religión que mayoritariamente somos católicos. Entonces, él se refiere a que la fe es algo súper bonito, que a él le parece precioso que la gente pueda creer en algo que no puede ni ver, ni tocar, ni nada. Pero que hay gente que toma ventaja de esa fe y se enriquece, e incluso haciéndoles pasar penurias, mintiendo, lo que tengan que hacer para hacerse ricos, y que esto lleva pasando desde, vamos, a lo largo de toda la historia, que la Iglesia Católica es la más rica de todas las organizaciones que hay en el mundo. Entonces, él no se refiere a que la religión sea mala, sino que la gente que se aprovecha, por decirlo así, de la gente que tiene esa fe y cree en ello. Y sí, estoy totalmente de acuerdo con él.
Es algo que pasa en muchas religiones, en muchas religiones.
It's something that happens in a lot of religions, not only Catholic, yes.
Exactly. So Line in the Sand actually refers to Islam with stoning your neighbor. It refers to Judaism with, the flesh that gives you salvation. It refers to a few. Catholic is the biggest one. And I can't say there was a reason. It's just the way the song came out. I'll explain that in a minute.
Que la letra le salió sola, eso también lo he dicho antes que se me ha olvidado.
Sí.
Que lo único que él tuvo que hacer es poner la música, porque es algo que sale solo porque está ahí, que él no se mete solo con la religión, o sea, tampoco se mete, que él no habla simplemente con la religión católica,
claro,
sino que el Islam también con eso de vas a hacer el mismo daño que te ha hecho tu vecino, el judaísmo con eso de la sangre y la carne y todo lo que conlleva, que son cosas que él, pues lógicamente, a la hora de escribir la canción no tuvo mucha dificultad porque es algo que está ahí, él compuso la música y ya está.
¿Crees que hay algo hoy en día de lo que no se pueda escribir o hablar o que tú tengas interiorizado? No quiero escribir ahora mismo sobre algo.
Do you think there's something that you cannot sing or talk about right now, like an issue that you cannot say anything about it? Or is there something that you don't feel like doing?
Comfortable with?
Yes. Anything of both of those things.
Nadie nos escucha ahora mismo.
No one is listening right now. We're alone.
It doesn't matter. How do you say in español, I don't give a fuck?
No me importa una mierda.
No me importa una mierda. That's shit. I don't give a shit.
No, it's the same. Yes, in Spanish
it's the same as right. So I don't.
Well, okay, I'm going to say the bad way. Me suda la polla.
But you say it too fast for me to learn. Tu culero.
Me suda.
No.
It's me suda la polla.
Me suda la polla.
Yes, it's like I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. Yes. Sí, es la traducción literal. Lo siento.
So, no.
Horario infantil no.
20 years ago, I would have been, somebody's going to get upset with me. I really don't care. I actually want people to get upset. I want them to be upset. And if they're upset with me, that's fine, because eventually, by pursuing that, they'll understand what they're upset about. There isn't an issue currently that I am not willing to talk about. There isn't an issue I'm not willing to write a song about. I'm just starting with the ones that are the most important to me. And Line in the Sand, I was saying that I didn't write it. I wrote the music. I wrote the production. I wrote everything. And I sat on my bed the day before we recorded the lyrics. And I didn't have any lyrics. I sat with this very MacBook that I'm talking on now. And I sat on my bed and I thought, what is this song about? And my first line was my message of fear. Because what I wanted it to be about, I wanted it to be about a government telling you to be afraid. And the song decided that's not what it wanted to be about. And it changed from my message to my sermon. And from there, I wrote the lyrics for this in 20 minutes. And we recorded it the next day. I never rehearsed it. I never practiced it. There was no preparation for it. The song wanted to be this, and it's correct. Any other song that wants to be that, I'll let it be. That line in the Sand, I make pretty toys out of little boys. I sat there with my eyes like this and said, oh shit, I'm going to be in trouble. But I wrote it anyway. And what happened from there is probably a lot anticlimactic. It didn't actually, nothing's gotten me in trouble so far. I'm not afraid at all. And I'm willing to take on anything that means something to me and put it in a song. If the song wants it, I'll put it in there.
Que en primer lugar a él no le da miedo nada. Él compuso la música, la producción de la canción, todo. Y el día antes de grabar se sentó en la cama con el Mac que tiene ahora mismo delante y puso una línea. What was the first line you wrote that then wasn't the song? The message?
My message of fear.
Vale, el mensaje de miedo. And it was going to be about...
Yeah, it
Iba a
was going
tratar
to be
sobre
about
lo que el
governments
gobierno.
telling you to be afraid.
I made a mistake. I was going to say it in English.
She's translating the,
Yes,
the
I'm
wrong
translated
way.
again. I'm too tired now.
She's going to start speaking in English to you and translating in Spanish
Yes,
to me.
yes. It's 5 minutes to do that. I've got 3 kids and today I'm not very, very awake. Vale, él iba a escribir sobre lo que el gobierno quiere transmitirnos, esos mensajes de miedo, y cuando empezó a escribir no le salió eso. Es como si la canción le dijera que no era el tema que tenía que tratar, y empezó a escribir la letra para la canción de Line in the Sand. ¿Qué pasa? Que puso frases que luego pues, han sido un poco fuertes y que de momento no le ha metido en ningún lío, aunque él pensaba que le podía traer algún problema, pero en realidad no le ha metido en ningún lío nada y que él considera que hay que hacerlo así. Y al día siguiente grabaron la canción sin ensayarlo, sin practicarlo y sin nada. 20 minutos le tomó escribir la canción.
Joder. Grandes palabras para una persona tan joven, hay que decirlo.
Great words for such a young person.
Thank you.
Okay.
Gracias.
Frank, hay grupos que sus canciones nos ofrecen recomendaciones y soluciones a problemas emocionales, a problemas del sentimiento. Pero yo tengo la sensación de que Frank lo que busca más que esto son respuestas. En tu caso, ¿consigues lo que buscas creando o escuchando música?
Okay, there are groups that try that their songs offer recommendations and solutions to emotional problems. We have the feeling that Exxyle is looking for answers. In your case, do you get what you're looking for by creating or listening to music?
An answer to any of these issues is subjective. It is down to the person. What is your answer? Now, I have my answers and I have my way and I have my belief and I follow my road. I don't need an answer from someone else to tell me what I need to believe. All I'm doing is I'm asking the question, or I am opening the wound so that people ask their own question and get their own answer. I don't presume to have the answers. I certainly don't. I have my own answer. That doesn't mean that that answer applies to you or Manuel or Ricardo. It only means that it applies to me. But I feel a responsibility to get someone else to ask that question of themselves.
Él se refiere a que él no va a darte la respuesta. Él simplemente te hace la pregunta para que tú te respondas a ti. Él sabe cuál es su respuesta, pero él quiere lanzar la pregunta para abrir heridas o sacar un tema del que tienes que pensar tú y razonar tus respuestas.
Manuel, si me permites, simplemente dice que él es un artista, un escritor y todo lo demás, excepto mezclar y masterizar. Pero hay algo que no mencionas, actor. En tu vídeo dedicado a Halloween con el cover del tema de Hearst Song de Rusty Cage, hay una gran interpretación. En realidad parece que sales de la pantalla. ¿Eres un artista al que la música lo ha llamado a alistarse o un músico que disfruta del arte?
Ok, I like this question. Me gusta esta pregunta mucho.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I understood half of it.
You're an artist, a writer, and you do everything else except to mix and masterize. Okay, but there's something that you don't mention, which is to be an actor. In your video clip that, yes, in the video clip that you made for Halloween with the cover of the Hersey song of Rusty Cage, it was a great interpretation and it looks like you're going to be out of the screen. So, are you an artist which music has called to be in their lines? or a musician that just has fun with the art?
So
and the Oscar goes to
the Rusty Cage song was one that I wanted to do for the last 2 Halloweens consecutively.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to, because as a matter of fact, the original song, well, not the original, not the 1900s, 1920s, I think, is when the original came out. It was a lullaby for kids. Rusty Cage's version I heard several years ago, and it's something that I actually use for vocal training, because Rusty Cage's version doesn't allow you to breathe anywhere. But I resonate with it because it's really, really Halloween. It is awesome Halloween. And 2 years has gone by that I couldn't do it. And then this year I made that, I mixed it, I mastered it myself, produced it the whole lot, did the whole video and everything, and spent hours trying to get the TikTok watermark off, because it was a ball ache. You will not believe. I couldn't do it, so I just put a subscribe thing over the top of it. It was horrible. Was it an act? It was absolutely. I love that song, and I can't do that with something that I don't love, or something that I don't feel. If I hated it, I could do something with it because I feel something, on fire, or something acute to it. But if it doesn't matter to me, I couldn't do it. What the Rusty Cage thing was is Halloween is the beginning of something else for me. I want to make a cover of a song every week and upload it every week. As a matter of fact, I'm doing one now that should have been uploaded today, but I'm struggling with the high end on the production. But every week I want to put up a cover of something that is relevant to me. But if it's not relevant to me, I couldn't possibly do it. The Halloween Rusty Cage thing was so much fun and so challenging at the same time. I had to put it in a way that you can breathe in between the verses, where Rusty Cage doesn't allow you to. It's these short, little, sharp breaths, and I just don't have the stamina. I'm 42 years old, and I've absolutely no level of fitness. Rusty Cage is a boss when it comes to that, and I just wanted to have some fun with it, but it still means something. It's something that that sings to me. I sing it all the time to practice my own vocal stamina, but it sings to me too, which is why it's part of that list. It's a short list, about I don't know, 13, 14 songs, which I like to warm up with and I like to practice my vocals with. That's one of them.
A la hora de ensayar y practicar la voz y el timbre y tal, él utiliza la canción de Rusty Cage. Lo que pasa es que con la canción de Rusty Cage no tienes ni paradas ni nada, es del tirón. Entonces, él cada semana está haciendo un cover y le parece una canción fenomenal para hacerlo en la semana de Halloween, que le suena muy Halloween. Entonces, él dice que él podría hacer cosas así con cosas que le produzcan sentimiento. El que sea, asco, odio, le encanta, cualquier cosa que le produzca un sentimiento le da para poder hacerlo y vivirlo y disfrutarlo porque le encanta la canción, y entonces pues le ha salido así. Que se tiró horas editándolo porque no se le quitaba la marca de agua de TikTok, y entonces tuvo que poner ahí arriba un simbolito de subscribe, y es eso. Él, por ejemplo, ahora está produciendo un cover que le está costando un poquillo, se ha quedado atascado en una parte, pero bueno. Y eso, viene a decir siempre, otra vez lo mismo, es el sentimiento lo que le mueve para hacer las cosas.
Yo tengo una pregunta quizás más terrenal que etérea.
A estas horas. Okay, Manuel has a question more to do with
Terrenal.
terrenal land question than heavens question. I don't know how to say this in English. I'm really sorry.
La pregunta es.
Okay, the question is.
Earthbound versus heavenbound. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. So yeah, something like that. Earthbound versus heavenbound. Perfecto.
Efectivamente, that's right. ¿Hay algún placer en la tierra que supere el sabor de una barbacoa, una cerveza helada y rock de la vieja escuela acompañando a una buena charla?
Okay. Is there a pleasure in
On earth.
on earth? I know. Is there a pleasure in earth that goes above the taste of a barbecue, a frozen beer, and with old school rock being part of a good talk?
Is there anything better than that?
Yes.
Oh. Look, my instinctive answer is going to be boobs straight away, but it's not true.
I'm going to translate everything, yes.
Please do.
Su respuesta iban a ser, ¿lo puedo decir?
Sí.
Tetas.
Uh-huh.
Pero no. Really no.
Having an open fire with just meat sitting on that, you're drinking beers with your closest friends, and you're talking about shit that you would never talk about unless you've had 6 or 7 beers behind you, is the most honest and open that you will ever get anyone.
Que tener un fuego con la carne haciéndose allí, tomar cervezas con tus amigos más cercanos, contando cosas que no hubieras contado si no te hubieras tomado 6 o 7 cervezas antes, es de las cosas que, vamos, los mejores placeres y que si no, y que te saca los sentimientos más profundos que tienes.
You guys are Spanish. You have a beach close by, right?
No,
Madrid.
because we live in Madrid.
Madrid. Yeah,
It's
okay,
like the
that's a
center
problem.
of Spain, but we can go to the beach in 3 hours.
But you're not 20 years old. You've been to a beach where they put a bonfire up as high as your head.
Yes.
Yes. And do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Me, no. I think I was too drunk.
But I do. My memory is not so good.
No, but it's not to do with.
Yeah, you see, that's exactly how you'd remember it. You'd remember it sort of more or less, but you'll remember some time where there's a bonfire, where there's a fire 6 feet above your head because the logs are standing just as high as you are. And you're talking to somebody and you don't remember what they were talking about, but you remember it was the best time of your fucking life. Because that was connection. You connected with someone right there. You don't know this person. You've never thought of this person ever since until you think of that time and you go, man, that was deep. And that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Él se refiere a que si alguna vez habéis estado en una hoguera, donde estaban estos troncos, una hoguera de 6 metros de alta en la playa, y habéis estado hablando con una persona que no conocía, que ahora no te acuerdas de ella, y habéis estado hablando de una charla súper interesante durante horas que más o menos te recuerdas y ahora lo recuerdas más, y ha sido la charla más profunda de tu puñetera vida, dicho. Yo, por ejemplo, no.
Muchos sí que recordamos eso y
Manuel does remember that.
Manuel does that.
Yes.
Is that going to get him into trouble?
Que te puede meter el lío.
I can see it on Ricardo's face. Ricardo's face says he remembers the same shit.
Let's talk about music. pero no me esperaba una respuesta distinta a esa.
Let's talk about music, but he won't expect an answer.
He might incriminate himself. I get it. Yeah, he won't get himself into trouble now.
Te va a meter el lío ahora.
No, pero fíjate que a pesar de todo es una de las respuestas con actitud más rockera que te puedes esperar.
No, he's not going to get in trouble, but it's the answer that we have here most rocking answer, to say that, rock and roll answer.
Rocking attitude.
Rocking attitude, okay. That you can find in an answer. So,
but isn't that it? That's the spirit of rock and roll. Mm-hmm. That was open. That was honest. Whether somebody liked it or not, that never made a difference. Right now, today, the only thing that matters is whether someone likes what you're doing or not. We're fighting on Facebook and Instagram for likes. The like is the least valued thing that you can get. Yeah, comments, bigger value. Shares, oh my God, you hit the jackpot. But all we're wondering for is like. I want you to like what I'm doing. Please like what I'm doing. And that did not fucking matter. Never did it matter whether somebody liked what you're doing or not. It's just that you did it. That was the answer and the question at the same time.
Que no importa lo que la gente piense, solo importa lo que tú hagas. Da igual si en Facebook la gente está muy metida ahora mismo con el tema Facebook, que solo espera que le den al like a tu foto. Si dan al like ya has conseguido algo, si comentan ya es un logro increíble y ya, si lo comparten es como si tocara lo de la máquina tragaperras, te ha tocado el bote. Entonces, él considera que no es así. Si tú has dado con la pregunta y la respuesta y es lo que tú sientes y lo dices, ya está. No esperes que los demás... Es como yo le entiendo como que los demás... No esperes nada que piensen de ti los demás, sino que tú estés contento contigo y con lo que tú piensas.
No voy a contestar ahora, voy a dejar a Ricardo.
Frank, si dos canciones dan para toda esta charla, cuando saques el disco, estamos aquí una semana.
If 2 songs have given us all this time talking with you about, the day your LP is going to be launched, we're going to be like 1 week speaking to you.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that on songs.
Okay. Ricardo says that it's only 2 songs that we hear you.
Si no cogió la pregunta, simplemente decirle que
when
tenemos...
when you have a disc with many songs,
I see.
We're going to be like 1 week speaking to you, not only 1 hour.
Well, hopefully that would be great, because I am... Look, I'm not even going to lie about it, is that the last few weeks have been really, really rough. I've had very little to be motivated about. And this conversation that I'm having with the 3 of you now is outstanding. I'm having the most fun that I've had in at least 3 weeks. And if we were going to talk for a week on end because of an LP, color me happy. I would be fascinated by it.
Que ha pasado 2-3 semanas muy bajo y sin tener ánimo de poder escribir y tal, y que gracias a nosotros 3 le ha dado una charla con la que puede estar más motivado. If you can come, you can come to Spain and hear our politicians, you will have like for hundreds and hundreds of LPs. And all the problems we have here in Spain.
Wow.
Well, if you keep an eye on my YouTube channel, I'll have, look, since I know Manuel has this thing that he has to work and then he has to do the radio show because he wants to fuel his passion, and something has to pay for it. My wife pays for this. She's got an excellent job and she's allowed me to do this and support me while doing this. She's my biggest fan. She is my greatest supporter. And even if somebody ever donated, I don't know, $1 million to this, they wouldn't be bigger than her because of what the opportunities she allowed me to have. But even though Shit, I lost my train of thought. If we had a week to talk about this, I would talk about this. Spain, UK, Europe, the US, it's no different. The same people are telling you to do the same things for the same reasons. And there will be an LP, which will be all the things that we're releasing between now and, I don't know, July next year. I'll formulate that into an LP and we can talk for a week. But if we talked every week, I would be even happier.
Wow.
Ok, que su mujer, gracias a Dios, tiene un buen trabajo, lo que permite pagar las facturas y el poder dedicarse a lo que le gusta. Entonces, que da igual que sea España, Estados Unidos, Inglaterra, el Reino Unido, que los políticos te dicen lo que quieres oír y hacen lo que quieren que hagas, y que a él le encantaría poder estar hablando con nosotros todas las semanas. Y que va a lanzar disco, si todo va bien, para el próximo julio. Cree que podrá tener su disco. I'm going to go to London on July with my family. So.
Are you?
Yes.
Well, then tell me,
yes,
so I can come and meet you.
Perfect. It would be a pleasure.
I don't live in London anymore, but I will go to London to meet you.
Perfect. And we have a beer.
And I fucking hate London. I lived there for 13 years. I hate it so much. For the most multicultural city in the world, people really don't talk to each other. It's horrible.
Sí, que odia Londres.
But go to London and Anjales, tell me, and I will be there to meet you.
That's a pleasure. I would do it. Promise.
Bueno, si quieres traducir
no, ya está. Bueno, él dice que Londres, perdón.
Sonsoles y nuestro invitado pues ya se han hecho sus planes de viaje, etcétera. Los que no vamos a ir a Londres, pues nos jodemos.
¿Te puedes venir?
Nos jodemos un poquito. Y ahora viene la parte que
él odia Londres. Porque,
sí.
pero que va a venir, pero que él odia Londres porque dice que es una ciudad que está reconocida como ser una ciudad multicultural y que todo el mundo es de distintas razas y religiones, pero que nadie se habla con nadie.
Efectivamente. Yo te voy a invitar a que estrenes tu disco en España, en la playa.
Manuel is going to invite you to launch your disc here in the beach.
Oh, that's awesome.
Para que podamos mantener una de esas charlas que, aunque no recordemos la charla en sí, recordemos el momento durante muchos años.
So he can have a chat with you without remembering what it was about, but remembering that you had a talk with each other.
Para nosotros, para Ricardo, para Sonsoles, para todo el equipo de la Zona Eléctrica, es un placer el poder estar charlando contigo durante una hora o durante una semana o todas las semanas.
For Ricardo, Manuel, me, and all the people that are part of La Zona Eléctrica, it has been a real pleasure to talk to you today for 1 hour and something, the weeks, monthly, whatever you need.
Y como tú bien decías, nosotros no estamos aquí ni por dinero, ni por likes, ni por ser los más guapos de TikTok.
And as you said, we're not here for money, not likes, and not to be the most beautiful people from TikTok.
Al final...
Have you seen the assholes on TikTok?
Que si has visto a los gilipollas de TikTok. Sí.
Por suerte no tenemos cuenta en TikTok, pero...
Culeros.
Pero al final hemos descubierto en esta charla
In the end, we have discovered in this talk
el verdadero espíritu de la Zona Eléctrica.
The great spirit of La Zona Eléctrica, the real spirit of La Zona Eléctrica.
Así que te damos las gracias.
I really appreciate this chat. This was fantastic. Although, Manuel, there's a problem with me launching my disc in July next year. Because if I have to go to Spain I won't be meeting Ángeles in London.
Que tiene un problema con lanzar el LP aquí en España, en la playa, como le has dicho,
sí.
que si él viene aquí a lanzar el LP en la playa no me va a ver a mí en Londres.
Don't worry.
Okay, I can go to London and then come back to Spain and see you here, so there's no worry about
that'll be good. That'll be good. Otherwise, you've just been sold down the river, darling.
No problem. I can be here.
She can go anytime. Ricardo, te dejo la última frase.
Pues nada, yo la verdad es que me lo he pasado tan bien como tanto he aprendido de Frank.
He's had so much fun as he has learned so much from you.
You know what? I appreciate that. I really do. But all I want to do, all I want you guys to do is rock on. Just remember the spirit of rock and roll and fucking rock on. Damn the man, save the empire.
Este es sin duda el espíritu de la zona eléctrica. ¿Hace falta que traduzcamos esta última parte?
Queda muy bien, como lo ha dicho él, y me parece que queda mejor que traducido.
Pues la zona eléctrica agradece el tiempo que ha estado con nosotros aquí Exxyle presentando su trabajo, presentando su música y nada, nos esperamos hasta el mes de julio para escuchar su trabajo. Muchas gracias. Las puertas de la zona eléctrica siempre estarán abiertas para ti.
Thank you very much. The doors of la zona eléctrica will always be open for you.
Let me try one more thing. La zona eléctrica.
Yeah.
Mi gusto.
Wow.
Perfect.